Well, hello everybody, this is Joe with Divine Daily, and I'm doing a tarot scope forecast for you guys for each sign. I'm going to timestamp these in the comments and pin them so you can go right to your sign and not have to sit through everything. This is for March 30th through April 5th. And forgive me, I do have a couple notes down here because I tend to be a little bit forgetful. But this is for March 30th through April 5th. And this is a general reading. How do you know if this reading is for you? Well, it'll fit. You'll know it. It'll make you feel something. And you won't have to try and stretch this to fit within your circumstances. So this isn't for everybody, but it's for those of you that this really, you connect with it and you'll know that it's for you. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've pulled cards, a couple cards from each for each sign. And I just sat with them, each set of cards for a little bit, and just let whatever came in kind of be the predominant message. And then I'm going to just elaborate on that, elaborate on what came in. So I did take some initial notes, just a few words that are descriptors, and we're going to go from there. So the first sign I'm going to do is for Aries, starting with fire signs, Aries. And the cards that I pulled were the Mask and the Six of Swords. So there's somebody around you that you probably aren't aware of that is kind of wearing this mask, and they're really good at portraying themselves to be something or someone that they're not. And this could even be a situation that you think is one thing, but really it's something else. But anyway, I think for most of you, this is a person, and you're going to have a moment during this week where this person that you probably find to be very trustworthy, or somebody you trust, or someone you're comfortable with, there's going to be a moment, and it might be very small. For some of you, they might not even know that you notice this or that you see this about them, but there's a glimpse behind this mask. And what happens is you have this realization that this person is not who they say they are, and they're not in your life for the reasons you think they are. There's something about them that isn't for your highest good, and there's something about them that probably has an ulterior motive. Now, what'll happen is it could be any number of things, and it's probably going to be something they say, something in their attitude. For some of you, it could be something that they've proclaimed to believe, some kind of ideology, and then the truth comes out in some kind of comment that they make, or some kind of statement that they make. And this could be personally, one-on-one. This could be something on social media. But anyway, this mask slips just briefly for you enough to go, oh, I need to keep my eye on this person because they don't seem to line up with what they are on the outside. That's not something that somebody would say or do that believes and acts the way that they claim to. So I think this person doesn't have your best interest, your highest good. This could be a business partner. This could be someone that's trying to be in your romantic space. But no matter who it is, it's not something that you're going to have to look for. It's just going to come out of the blue, and it's going to hit you, and you're going to know who this person is. And so you're probably going to want to put some distance between yourself and this person. We're familiar right now with the term social distancing. So, practice that, but times 100. Keep quite a few arm's lengths between you and this person. I think they're in your life, and they probably are kind of holding you back, or they potentially could cause some roadblocks, some stumbling, or some detours if you don't pay attention to the warning signs. So that's what I have for you, Aries. That's the Mask and the Six of Swords. That's what I pulled. That's what came to me. Leo, we have the Rider and the Seven of Swords. And so this, to me, right away, when I sat there, something has told me that you have been blocked from a feeling of being blocked, or you have this perceived feeling that there is this monumental obstacle in your way and it's preventing you from going forward. And you even may perceive this as, I've tried going around it, I've tried going under it, but no matter what I do, I cannot get through this obstacle. I can't get to the other side. In fact, it's so close, but this obstacle just separates you from it. And so no matter what you do, you can't get to the other side. And so this feeling to me about being blocked, or this perceived blockage, was like something that you really tried hard to get traction, to get off the ground. And to me, this whole thing is probably about work, career, or education, or some idea or some avenue in your life that you wanted to pursue. But every time you went to pursue that, there was something that came to like take away your time and energy and distract you from that. Or when you tried to go in that direction, it just never seemed to work out. Well, what we have here is the Seven of Swords. That's going away. That blockage, that feeling of having this idea and this desire taken from you, stolen from you repeatedly, and it's stayed with you, but you might have started to give up on it. And for this week of March 30th, April 5th, the rider, the good news comes in, and this good news is a bit of an open door for you to really just run through and run with it. So whatever it is that comes up for you this week that feels like it's a sign, or it's just like almost too good to be true, or too easy, that's because this is the right time for you. This is the perfect time. It really wasn't a blockage. It really wasn't anything preventing you. It just was all about timing. And so this timing right now is absolutely divine and perfect for you to move forward with what it is that you've had this just intense passion and desire for. So that's going to happen for you March 30th to April 5th. And then we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius, but you've been going in circles for some time, and you've probably been very impatient about a situation in your life that just seems to be dragging on, and it's never ending. And every time you think you're getting to the ending, it continues on, and it just seems to never stop. You may have felt like you're going in circles, or you go down a road and you're at a dead end, and you got to backtrack, and you go down another road, it's a dead end, and you go down another road, and it's a roundabout, and you just can never seem to get in the direction that you want to go. You have the Labyrinth and the Two of Wands. However, you haven't given up faith on this situation, but it's dwindled, and it's kind of sapped your energy quite a bit, and it's become kind of a drag on you, and it's kind of pulled your energy down for, I would say, several months now. And for some of you, this could be quite a bit longer. This could have continued over the course of a year, even for some of you. Now, the Labyrinth is like really kind of representative of a maze, and essentially you really don't have a perspective on which way to go. And so at some point this week, there's going to be a series of events, or an event that's going to just kind of almost give you a roadmap, and you're going to all of a sudden have this perspective on how to navigate out of this situation. It's really something that you've been really just looking at for a long time in the distance, really wanting a way out of that, and that's coming for you probably starting closer to the 4th or 5th of April. Something is going to happen that's going to give you a kind of a blueprint, and whether that's information that might come from an attorney, a business partner, this could come from somebody that is kind of in authority over you. It could be somebody that has had to make some decisions that now lets you move forward, and so you kind of spent a long time in this place that's been very heavy, and it's been quite a drag, and it's probably been something you thought you would never get out of. But this begins to break for you during this week, and you'll find yourself the things that went wrong really weren't your fault. Maybe you contributed to some of your own personal energetic heaviness there, but This is just one of those things that has to play out karmically, and I see that that's something that's finally breaking for you. You don't have to stare off into the distance anymore and wonder, when am I going to exit this situation? So this is your exit coming up. Gemini, you have 6 of Pentacles, and you have, the Sith. That's right. So this is clearing the clutter. There are some things that that you want for yourself that can't happen until you clear the field, essentially. So whatever is in your way that is not of any use or any service, whatever is in your way that is essentially a distraction, needs to be cleared out. And once that's cleared out, you'll be able to have more focus on the more specific things that just aren't happening, that you've been really trying to put your energy and time into. Some of this to me could be just overall clutter in the home and in the workplace. Maybe things just aren't tidy. Maybe there's just some things you need to sign and mail off. Maybe there's some situations that you can put an end to, but it's really kind of this apathy because the bigger picture of what you want is not coming through. What this is saying, if you want that to come through, if you want that to happen for you, you need to clear out that clutter. You need to clear out some of the things that just don't need to be there anymore. And once you get rid of those things and clear that out of the way, you have this this kind of 6 of Pentacles here, this balance in your financial life and in other material aspects of your life, and some of the things you've been really putting your energy into to try and manifest, to try and bring in your direction. Well, now this is the time. It's saying go ahead, cut those things out, do it in a hurry, and quit procrastinating on those things. Once you do that, you have this unfinished business that is taken care of, and it just clears the path for you. There are no more weeds and no more overgrowth in your life that's blocking you and preventing you from doing that. And then the next sign, where are the cards here? We have, here they are. We have the 9 of Wands and for Libra, and the dice. So this is pretty cool. So the dice, to me, the first word that came to my mind, I always think of what's the very first 1 or 2 words. And of course the dice, luck, kind of came to my mind. And but it really isn't luck. This is like a part of your destiny. You might feel that you've been held back on some things, and the 9 of Wands is just feeling that that long wait that has just been going on and on and on. There's some things in your life that just really felt like were never going to happen. Like everything had to be lined up just right. Everything had to be in perfect alignment. But this really isn't about any perfect alignment. This isn't even really about luck. This is about some kind of destiny, some kind of news, some kind of opportunity that's going to open the door for you to take a detour that you've probably been wanting to take for some time. And so this is the opportunity that comes in probably between the 30th and the 5th, but probably closer to the 30th. And this may seem like luck, but it really isn't luck. There isn't even any chance. It's not chance, and it's not like serendipity. It's something that you've been kind of waiting for. Maybe you've just have forgotten about this dream, or you've forgotten about this thing that you wanted to do, and out of the blue comes this chance, this opportunity to do something completely probably different than you would have otherwise done in the past. So I think this comes in for you right around the 30th, between the 30th and the 1st. So somewhere in there is what I feel. But that was the first word that came to me, was just this luck. But it really isn't luck. It's more than that. And it's something that's probably actually meant for you. And then the next sign was Aquarius, and when I pulled your cards, I had the King of Pentacles. Oh, and the park. And the park was kind of cool because I sat just for a minute and I wanted to kind of really, what is the park telling me? And this is about social interactions and this idea of networking, and because we have the King of Pentacles. However, we're in a really weird time for that, right? We can't be up close to one another in each other's space socializing. But what this is saying, the park is really about that that socializing, gathering together, communicating with people, being in each other's space and places, and making contacts, making friends, making business associates. But you can't really do that. And so you might think that this sounds crazy. How are you going to do that? But this is a good week for you to pursue alternative ways to connect with people. And you might find that in your business and work, you may become a little bit more accustomed to communicating through email, social media, and other outlets, and you're going to probably find that you meet some contacts or some people that you wouldn't have otherwise, because you would have been stuck in an office or you would have been stuck in your place of work. And this opens up a whole new door for your career and for your work and business to allow you to tap into some people and network in a different way than you have before. So I think this is a good sign about bringing more work your way. It'll help you to grow your business, and there's just some things that'll probably happen that you never thought would be possible. This is going to be like a very creative time for you. So that was Aquarius. And then Taurus, I pulled the Man and the Magician, which is I had this feeling like, the Man here, this is very like Fabio-ish, right? And then we have the Magician. But to me, I had this just empty feeling about this card, and it was like somebody that was lost, maybe couldn't find their way. And so Taurus, this represents you maybe feeling kind of a bit uncertain of your identity, who you are. You may be a little bit older and feel like you're having maybe an identity crisis, or just uncertain, unsure of so many things in this world. And I think you've been in this energy for a long time. This probably stems from some kind of negative relationship in the past that maybe kind of stripped you of that identity in a sense. And the Magician is having this remembrance of who you were and who you are. And you may find that you will be reinventing yourself in ways that you hadn't thought possible before. You might find that you're tapping into parts of yourself that maybe you kind of closed off a long time ago. In the Magician here, you have, you really have all the elements. You have air, earth, fire, and water. And so that is saying to me, you have everything you need to tap into older kind of lost parts of you, almost like lost knowledge, hidden knowledge, things that of yourself, some secrets, and not negative secrets, but secrets about yourself that you didn't know. And there's probably some aspect of some type of negative relationship, negative conditioning that has kind of blocked that out. And so this is a time where you probably start to be able to become found again. But this is something that is personal to you and yourself. Maybe it's through some therapy, maybe it's just through meditation and prayer. No matter what the avenue is, there's a door opening for you during this week that allows you to kind of start to find yourself again. This has probably been something that has kept you stuck for a long time. And I think this is a good opportunity for you this week you might start having some realizations about yourself, and these realizations allow you to maybe unlock hidden aspects, hidden talents, creativity, maybe some trapped energy, trapped emotions that you need to get out, you need to let go, and it's going to allow you to do some really good things coming up This is April 30th, March 30th, April 5th. So probably sometime, down the road, this is like a new beginning. It isn't something that just magically happens overnight, but it's a process. You might have that realization around this week about yourself, about keeping yourself locked up like that. And the next one is, we did Taurus is Virgo. So this is a very fun kind of youthful kind of feeling. These two cards are really cool. They go together really well, and they kind of talk about the this young energy, this youthful energy. We have the sun, and I love the way the sun is depicted here, and then we have the dog. All right, and this dog represents kind of like more like a puppy, or just a very playful energy. This is loyalty, companionship. So to me, the dog is, I think this is a place you're not quite in, but this is like coming your way. So you might have somebody come into your life that changes up your day-to-day routine. They might come into your life and kind of cause you to do a 180 and get you unstuck out of this just very mundane, repetitive, day-to-day kind of routine that you go through. And this really brings you into a completely different kind of energy, and it's actually really beautiful, really playful, really fun. This, for some of you, could be somebody you know already from your distant past that kind of pops back into your life, and then there's this connection that you've never had with this person before, and it becomes a very special connection. Some of this is going to maybe feel like they are part of your soul family or part of your tribe. You might feel like you always knew this person. You might feel like this person was meant to come into your life at this time. If it's somebody you knew a long time ago, maybe from school, college, early childhood, and all of a sudden this person is in your life, and they're a really playful, renewing energy. It's like a way you haven't felt in a long time. It is a way that you haven't allowed yourself to feel in a long time. And I think this is amazing. I think this is coming to you closer to the 5th of April. And this is something I think is very exciting. And the next we have Capricorn. Oh yeah, we have Capricorn, we have the High Priestess, and the Well. Okay, so some of you might have been doing a lot of dreaming, and you might be waking, and at some point during the day you have just this faint remembrance of your dream, and it might have some kind of specific important meaning to you, but you're not quite getting the entire picture. You feel like it's important, but you can't quite remember the whole dream, or you can't quite remember this message you got while you were sleeping. And so deep down inside you, with this Well and the High Priestess, is this like hidden, almost ancestral knowledge. And this is like kind of past life knowledge, or Akashic type record knowledge. This is knowledge that's very deep within your DNA. And so this is a time in your life where you're probably having some daydreams, some lucid dreams, some very deep dreams, and even some astral projection. And this allows you to, Capricorn, kind of discover some more powerful aspects about yourself. And really what this is about is it's trying to point you to a new path. It's trying to steer you in a new direction. And so you might feel kind of agitated or kind of irritated that you feel like there's a message and you're not quite getting it, and it's not quite making sense to you. I think what you'll feel like is you might have these little bits of information, remembering a dream or something like that, and this has been happening for some time, and it feels like a deja vu almost, or it just feels like, you know, you already knew that, and you can't remember if you're remembering a dream or if you're remembering something that you've already done before, and it's going to be kind of interesting time for you. But the message here is to spend some quiet time meditating and trying to connect closer to what that message is, or what those messages are, because those are going to become stronger for you. And journal your dreams if you can, and see where this takes you, because I think during this week this is going to intensify, and it's going to be a pretty kind of wildly psychic, intuitive kind of experience, and it's all meant to reveal a new path for you. It's going to bring up some kind of hidden knowledge that goes back a long time, and I think this is really cool. I think you should be looking forward to this, Capricorn. It's going to be an interesting ride for you this year. Cancer, we have the Key and the Three of Pentacles, and so there's something about your work and your career that you've been trying to get to a place where you can move beyond where you're at in your work, or you could take a different avenue in your line of work, a different, not necessarily a different career, but breaking into a different aspect of your work. And every time you try to pursue this, whether it's a promotion or some kind of opening in your employment or in your field, and you try to pursue this, it just seems like the door gets shut on you. And so you've probably been really frustrated with this for a long time. You probably wanted to go in this direction for a long time, but now you have the Key. So the Key is not a key that you hold, but this key is going to come to you from somebody else, and it's going to allow you to unlock that door and go down and pursue that aspect of your work that you've been trying to do probably for a long time. The doors don't get shut because somebody else is taking that from you. It just wasn't the right time for you. So this is somebody coming probably onto the scene, and it's going to be just a moment where you've almost forgotten about this aspect of your career, and then here comes this opportunity that all of a sudden essentially hands you the key, and you can go through a door and pursue an aspect of your work and career that you haven't been able to do because you've probably have felt like you've been locked out of that. And then finally, what do we have next? We have Scorpio. We have two more. Scorpio, you had the Flowers and the Hanged Man. I say the Hanged Man or Hanged Woman. Let's be a little bit more flexible with that. So we have the Flowers and the Hanged Man, Hanged Woman. Something you've been waiting for a long time. If you're single, this is probably a good week where you will. You probably have waited a long time. So if you're single, you probably deliberately have stayed single for a long time. The Hanged Man is like kind of just hanging out, being in a space that you stay in deliberately, or you're just comfortable just staying in, and you're not actively pursuing anything. So if you're single, this is somebody coming in to kind of surprise you, and kind of maybe an offer of dating, romance, love, an offer of companionship. So that comes in for you, Scorpio. And then if you're in a relationship, this to me says there's kind of a renewed passion and a renewed desire in a relationship that has probably kind of gone stale for some time. You get so used to the day-to-day, going through the ropes, going through the motions, especially those that have kids and careers. And so things can get really stale. And I think the reason, for those of you that are in a relationship, married or a long-term relationship, that this new energy comes in is we're probably, a lot of us are being forced to be really close together in our homes and staying away from the general public. So this is probably going to be like a rediscovery in a lot of your relationships. There's going to be just this renewed renewed passion in a lot of relationships. And there's probably going to be some new connections and new bonds formed. So this kind of goes for whether you're single or whether you are in a relationship. And that is for Scorpio. And finally, Pisces. Pisces, I think you have the most interesting cards that I pulled. This is a card that I've never really looked at before a whole lot. And you have mice. And I think, oh, how cute. You know, everybody loves mice. But to me, these mice are not something that you want to have around. They're consuming your resources a little bit at a time. So it's not like they're taking big bites out of your bottom line, but they are there to kind of take from you in little bits and pieces. And you also have the Eight of Wands. So this might be a situation with a person or a situation that is taking little bites out of your financial resources, and this has probably been going on for a long time, and it's probably been tolerated for a long time because it's just such little bits at a time, but it's finally starting to add up, and it's finally starting to take its toll. And so I think you have a realization this week that this is becoming a very negative situation, and it's time for you to deal with it and to be assertive and to kind of evict these mice from your life. So whatever the situation is, if it's friends, relatives, it could be some type of obligation even that's in your life that has really become unnecessary and really become an annoyance. So it's time to just get rid of these mice, set the traps, throw out the poison, do whatever you got to do, evict them, get them out of your presence, because they're going to continue to kind of eat away at your resources. And this is probably a bad time for something like that to happen. But the good news is with the Eight of Wands, as soon as you take action, it's like the roaches scatter. You know, you turn on the light and they're gone. It's like they're found out, the roaches scatter, they're gone, and you probably won't have to really deal with this after this. It's going to be, Eight of Wands is very fast, and it's very fast movement, and as soon as you kind of expose these mice, they're gone, they're going to scatter, and you can kind of be rest assured that you're no longer going to have these resources kind of picked away from you a little bit at a time. And it's probably going to realize that at this time, when you decide to do this, that the toll is actually much bigger than you realized. It's probably gone on for some time, and so it becomes something that maybe you quit, a little bit depressing to look at the big picture and think, oh, man, you know, this really just went on and on and on, and I could have just done away with the situation a long time ago. So that is the message for Pisces. So I will, like I said, this will all be time stamped in the comments, so you can just go right to your sign and get your message. Again, like I said, if you're wondering if this message is for you, well, that depends on you. Is this something that fits in your current life situation? Is this something that makes sense? Is this something that you feel when you hear it? If it's not, and you have to fit it, and you have to stretch it and force it into your current circumstances, not for you. So with that said, I appreciate you taking the time to listen and to hear what I have to say. If it makes sense to you, if it fits, please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, send me a message, let me know how this plays out for you during that week and that time period. And finally, you know, everybody stay safe out there. You know, just stay safe, do the right thing, and hopefully we all get through this together eventually, and we can, you know, stop living with so much anxiety and everything. But there's really no reason to worry. If we just do the right thing, we're all going to be okay. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks.